Welcome back, friends. In this video, we shall discuss about mitochondria and small facts about plastids. Mitochondria or mitochondrion in the sausage or rod-shaped cell organelle. So it is shaped like sausage. Kwa wale ambao mnazifahamu sausage, how it's rod-shaped cell organelle bounded by the two thin membrane. So as we classify the area, mitochondrion double membraned organelle which form an envelope. So the membranes are separated by the narrow space, which is called the intermediate membrane space. The inner membrane is folded inward into the number of shelf-like structures called cristae. The cristae increases its surface area, providing space for the components of the respiratory chain, which are located in the membrane. Kwa hiyo kiufupi, hivyo ni vitu ambavyo nitakiwa vijue on the structure of the mitochondria. Mitochondria are the most important organelle in which aerobic respiration takes place. Cristae are the site of oxidative phosphorylation and electron transport chain, that is a respiratory chain. So mitochondria is where aerobic respiration takes place. Without oxygen, mitochondria cannot perform the electron transport chain, and we shall discuss it in detail on the topic of respiration. Why without oxygen mitochondria cannot proceed to the Krebs cycle and electron transport chain? Because respiration is divided into three reactions that are glycolysis, Krebs cycle, and the oxidation, that is respiratory chain. So without oxygen, the reactions cannot jump from glycolysis into Krebs cycle. Glycolysis takes place in the cytosol, that is cytoplasm, and the Krebs cycle takes place in the mitochondria. So we shall discuss them in detail on the respiration. The inner membrane encloses a cytoplasm-like structure called matrix. The matrix is the site of Krebs cycle reaction, and thus the mitochondrial matrix contain most of the enzymes of the Krebs cycle. Kwa kwenye mitochondrial matrix kuna enzymes za Krebs cycle. Lakini pia kunaweza kuwa kuna fatty acid oxidation also takes place in the mitochondria. The matrix also contain a few ribosomes for protein synthesis, circular DNA molecules, which is capable of self-replication, and the phosphate granules and ATP. Kwa hiyo ukiambiwa elezea about the structure of nucleus ndio hivyo. It is double membraned, then the inner membrane is folded into cristae. It has 7 ribosomes. It has enzymes in its matrix, cytoplasm-like structure called matrix, and the enzymes they are for Krebs cycle. The inner membrane folded into cristae. The cristae they are for electron transport chain. So note, mitochondrial ribosomes have the same size as bacterial ribosomes that are prokaryotic cell, and mitochondria is shaped perfectly to maximize its effect. Kwa hiyo mitochondrial ribosomes zinafanana na zile za bakteria, na ndipo ambapo tutakuja kuangalia mambo ya endosymbiont theory huko mbele, kwamba inawezekana mitochondria na chloroplast zitokana na bacteria. So the organelle is therefore nicknamed as powerhouse of the cell. So if you are asked about the powerhouse of the cell, it is mitochondria. So compartment of mitochondria. Mitochondria is composed of 5 compartments that carry out specialized function. These are as follows. So we shall discuss one compartment after another and its function. So the first compartment is the outer membrane. This is an outer membrane that encloses the entire organelle. Its protein to phospholipid ratio is similar to that of the eukaryotic plasma membrane. Kwa hiyo hii outer membrane ya mitochondria inakuwa inafanana tu ile ya seli ya kawaida. It contains large number of integral protein called porins, which form channels that allow molecule to diffuse from one side of the membrane to another. Disruption of the outer membrane permit protein in the intermembranous space to leak onto cytosol, leading to certain cell death. This cell death is called apoptosis, and we shall discuss it later. Kwa hiyo kama outer membrane ikiwa disrupted, inaweza kusababisha proteins zilizokuwa katikati ya zile membrane mbili za seli zikawa disrupted, na zikiwa disrupted utakuta kwamba huyu mitochondria yako manake atakufa. Sio mitochondria, manake ni seli yote itakufa by the process of apoptosis. Lakini ya pili ni intermembranous space. Hii ni space kati ya membrane mbili. This is the space between the outer and the inner membrane, also known as palmitochondrial space, since the outer mitochondrial membrane is permeable to small molecule. The concentration of molecule like ions and sugar in the intermembrane space is the same as cytosol. However, large proteins must have a specific signaling sequence to be transported across the outer membrane. Kwa hiyo small proteins concentration yake inakuwa inafanana, lakini large proteins inatofautiana. So another component is inner proteins. Inner proteins, it is rich in phospholipids, lacking integral proteins. Inner membrane contain 5 complex of protein, namely cytochrome. Kwa hizo kuna cytochrome reductase, kuna cytochrome oxidase, kuna flavoprotein, kuna NADH2 dehydrogenase and the protein synthesis. Hizo zote tutaenda kuziangalia in deep kwenye topic ya respiration, how are they functioning. And then we have cristae. Cristae, they are formed when inner membrane fold to form shelf-like cristae, projecting into matrix. They are studied with protein including ATP, synthase and cytochromes. Kwa cristae ziko kwa ajili ya kuongeza surface area. Cristae increase the surface area for the chemical reaction. Tutaenda kuziona kwenye diagram. Lakini pia we have matrix, ambayo matrix ndio kama cytoplasm. So this is the viscous than cytoplasm. It contains soluble enzyme that catalyze the oxidation of pyruvate and other small organic molecule. Also containing mitochondria, DNA and ribosomes. Mitochondria proteins vary depending on the tissue and the space. For example, in human, 15 distinct type of protein have been identified from the cardiac mitochondria. So cardiac mitochondria manake zinafanya respiration kuliko mitochondria nyingine. Ndio maana unakuta kwamba proteins zilizokuwa identified hapo ni ngapi? Ni 615. So it's not necessary kwamba ni protein zote ndo zitatoa mitochondria za maeneo yote zitatoa protein. So in the matrix, pyruvic acid is oxidized by NAD and FAD and produce NADH and FAD. Also decarboxylated to produce 3 molecules of carbon dioxide. All of these reactions, they are called as Krebs cycle. We shall see later in the topic of respiration. So on the structure of mitochondria, mitochondria looks like this. And I'm sure here you can see the structure of mitochondria. So here in the structure of mitochondria, here is the outer membrane. Then we have inner membrane folded into cristae. So these are what we call cristae. Then in the cristae we can have stocked particles in the cristae. So here we have just drawn in one cristae, but all of these cristae, they have stocked particles. We have phosphate granule, we have matrix, which is cytoplasm, we have ribosomes and things like that. So you should know all of these on the structure of mitochondria. So from there, let's just discuss about the distribution of mitochondria in the cell. So mitochondria are present in all eukaryotic cells and a major site of aerobic respiration within cell. However, different types of cells, they have different concentration of mitochondria. So the number of mitochondria per cell varies considerably and depend on the type of cell of the organism and the nature of the cell. Kwa cell ambazo zinahitaji energy kubwa, such as heart cells, they have large number of mitochondria. Liver cells, they have large number of mitochondria as compared to other cells. So cells with high energy requirement possess a large number of mitochondria. For example, liver cell contain upward of 1,000 mitochondria. Less active cell possess far fewer. Kwa cell nyingine zinakuwa zina mitochondria chache. So here you can see the distribution of mitochondria in some of the cells. That mitochondria are often packed close together in cell like spermatozoa. So spermatozoa contractile fibrin. Spermatozoa, in short, you call them as sperm cell. So contractile fibrin in muscle area where active transport or absorption occur, such as ileum, nephron, root epidermal cell, companion cell. We have heart cell, liver cell. Kwa hiyo mitochondria huko zinakuwa nyingi sana. If the number of mitochondria in the cell is fewer, that is cell not getting enough energy to survive, more mitochondria can be created. Kwa kama seli inakuwa ina mitochondria chache, seli inaweza ka create other mitochondria. Kwa hiyo mitochondria zina uwezo wa kureplicate zenyewe. Na ndipo ambapo tutaenda kusoma why mitochondria and chloroplast they are known as cell within a cell. Kwa hiyo haya ni maswali ambayo tunatakiwa ujue sana kwenye mitochondria and chloroplast. Hii ni knowledge ambayo ni very widely distributed. Ukielewa vizuri hapa, most of the questions of cytology unaweza kuzifaulu vizuri. So mitochondria are largely found in those body cells whose energy demand is high. Example, kwa kuna example hapa. Kwenye nerve cell tunahitaji sodium potassium pump. Kwenye cardiac muscle for pumping blood. Kwenye skeletal muscle for movement. Kwenye nephron for transport. Then kwenye sperm cell for beating of flagella. Kwenye companion cell in plant for. Kwa hiyo hizi ni examples tu, lakini tutaenda kuona kwenye cell moja moja tutakavyoenda kusoma different parts or different systems of the body. And here you can see the function of mitochondria. Ya kwanza, it is the site for aerobic respiration and it is where ATP are synthesized. So mitochondria is the power